Here's a commonplace scene that every sports fan in America will recognize. It's the kind of scene that takes place wherever lovers of sport get together. It may be in somebody's home, or down at the club, or in the back room of an office. Maybe it's early evening or late at night, whenever a few friends find time to team up for a little sociable relaxation. Everything goes along smoothly for a few hours, and then, during a lull in the proceedings, something leads to an innocent remark. Someone says that so-and-so was the greatest player the world of sport has ever known. Then the argument starts. You'd think the topic under consideration was the League of Nations, or what to do with Germany, or at least the subject of the fourth term. But no, these sports fans are losing their tempers and threatening to do each other bodily violence, all because of a difference of opinion over who was or is the greatest box office attraction in the entire history of sport. Is baseball where you'd find the king of sport? If so, who's the greatest player the great American pastime has ever produced? Well, most of us would name a man who started as a great left-hand pitcher and wound up as the Sultan of Swat, the Bambino, called by Grantland Rice the greatest sports headliner of all time. The greatest sports headliner of all time? Well, what about Joe DiMaggio? What about Honus Wagner? What about Christy Mathewson? It all depends on the point of view. A galloping ghost from Illinois named Red Grange? For years, he was the idol of every sports fan in the country. But if Grange was tops, what about Tommy Harmon of Michigan? All-American triple threat. Or Ernie Nevers of Stanford. Bronco Nagurski of Minnesota, Don Hudson of Alabama. The fans will even fight over their favorite coaches. The relative merits of the Knute Rockne system against the one evolved by Pop Warner. Or Bernie Bierman versus Jim Crowley. The easiest way in the world to start a really violent argument is to talk about boxing. Just say, for example, that Joe Louis is the greatest boxer of all time, and you'll run head-on into a man who's sure that Gene Tunney in his prime could have beaten Louis any time. And there's Jack Dempsey. There can be many arguments about Dempsey's exact place among the great heavyweights of all time, but they can as to the pull he exerted at the gate. In his long and turbulent career, embracing battles with Jess Willard, George Carpentier, Tommy Gibbons, Louis Firpo, Jack Sharkey, and Gene Tunney, he drew close to a total of $10 million. In the second Tunney fight, he drew more than $2.5 million, an all-time high in gate receipts.